band of rebels. A band of outcasts. A band that didn't just make music. They lived and breathed chaos. Welcome to Rock Fame Diaries, where today, we uncover the explosive and controversial history of Guns N' Roses. The band that ruled the world in the late 80s and 90s but nearly destroyed itself in the process. Before he became the wild frontman of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, born William Bruce Rose Jr., endured a dark and abusive childhood. His biological father left before he was 2 years old. His mother remarried, but Axl later revealed that his stepfather physically abused him and his siblings. Growing up in a strict religious household, he wasn't even allowed to listen to rock music. But inside him burned a rage that would one day explode on stage. Then, there was Saul Hudson, better known as Slash. Born in London to a British mother, Ola, a fashion designer for David Bowie, and an African-American father, an album cover artist, Slash grew up surrounded by music and art. But his family life fell apart when his parents divorced. He moved to Los Angeles with his mother, but she was often away working with rock stars, leaving young Slash to wander the streets alone. He found escape in music, picking up the guitar at age 15, and that changed everything. Michael "Duff" McKagan, the tall, fearless bassist, grew up in Seattle, Washington, the youngest of 8 siblings. His parents divorced when he was young, and his mother raised him alone, working multiple jobs. Unlike the others, Duff was a punk rocker, influenced by bands like The Clash and the Ramones. But the moment he met Slash and Axl, he knew they were about to change rock history. Steven Adler, the original drummer, was born in Cleveland, Ohio but moved to Los Angeles as a child. Kicked out of his house at 14, he lived on the streets, hustling to survive. Jeffrey Isbell, known as Izzy Stradlin, also grew up in Indiana. Like Axl, he was quiet, mysterious, and heavily influenced by the Rolling Stones. Like Axl, he wanted more than small-town life. With nothing but dreams and determination, Axl and Izzy left Indiana for Los Angeles, where they met Slash, Duff, and Steven. They weren't just bandmates, they were a gang. And in 1985, Guns N' Roses was born. The Los Angeles rock scene was cutthroat, filled with glam metal bands and wannabe rock stars. But Guns N' Roses were different. They were raw, dirty, and unpredictable. It all started in the backstreets of Hollywood, where the 80s rock scene was filled with rising stars, dreamers, and wild lifestyles. A young singer named William Bruce Rose Jr., later known as Axl Rose, left his troubled home in Lafayette, Indiana, and moved to Los Angeles in search of fame. He met guitarist Jeffrey Isbell, known as Izzy Stradlin, another Indiana native who shared his passion for rock. Together, they played in various bands before fate brought them to a group called Hollywood Rose, which featured future Guns N' Roses members. Meanwhile, a Seattle-born bassist named Duff McKagan had just moved to LA, searching for a serious rock band. He soon met guitarist Saul Hudson, better known as Slash, a British-American guitarist who grew up idolizing rock legends like Led Zeppelin. Alongside Slash was his best friend, drummer Steven Adler. In 1985, these 5 musicians came together to form what would become Guns N' Roses. A name derived from Axl's Hollywood Rose and guitarist Tracy I. Guns' band, LA Guns. Tracy I. Guns soon left, making way for Slash to join permanently. Little did they know, they were about to become one of the biggest rock bands in history. In 1987, Guns N' Roses released their debut album, Appetite for Destruction. At first, it didn't gain much attention, until MTV picked up the video for Welcome to the Jungle, and radio stations couldn't stop playing it. Then came Sweet Child O' Mine, a song that Slash originally considered a joke, but it became their first and only #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Guns N' Roses had officially exploded into superstardom. But with fame came chaos. They lived in abandoned apartments, drank themselves into oblivion, and played wherever they could. Their early songs were filled with stories of life on the streets, drugs, and broken relationships. In 1986, Geffen Records took a chance on them, signing them for their debut album. Guns N' Roses didn't just play rock and roll, they lived it to the extreme. The band was infamous for their wild partying, drug-fueled nights, and unpredictable behavior. Axl Rose was known for starting riots, walking off stage, and feuding with fans.
To the lame ass security, I'm going home.
Slash and Steven Adler were deep into heroin addiction. Izzy Stradlin was arrested for urinating on a plane. Duff McKagan nearly died from alcohol-related issues. In 1991, Axl started a riot in St. Louis when he jumped into the crowd mid-concert, attacking a fan with a camera. The band fled the venue, leaving behind $200,000 in damages. Their unpredictability made them the most dangerous band in the world, but also one of the greatest. By the late 80s, Steven Adler's drug addiction had gotten so bad that the band had to fire him. He was replaced by Matt Sorum, a powerhouse drummer who had previously played for the Cult. With Matt Sorum in the lineup, the band's sound evolved. They became tighter, heavier, and more polished. In 1991, Guns N' Roses released Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, featuring hits like November Rain, a 9-minute masterpiece, Don't Cry, an emotional ballad, You Could Be Mine, a hard-hitting anthem. The tour was legendary but also filled with fights, walk-offs, and drama. By 1991, Izzy Stradlin left, unable to handle the chaos. Over the next few years, tensions between Axl and the band grew. By 1996, Slash, Matt Sorum, and Duff McKagan had all left. Axl tried to keep Guns N' Roses alive with a new lineup, but fans weren't interested. The classic era was over. It took 15 years for Axl to release Chinese Democracy in 2008. A commercial disappointment. In 2016, rock fans got what they had been waiting for. Axl, Slash, and Duff finally reunited for the Not in This Lifetime tour, proving that despite the fights and chaos, Guns N' Roses is still a rock powerhouse. Guns N' Roses will forever be remembered as one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Rebellious, dangerous, and undeniably legendary. Love them or hate them, Guns N' Roses will always be one of the most legendary bands in rock history. Guns N' Roses will forever be remembered as one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Rebellious, dangerous, and undeniably legendary. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rock history, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This has been Rock Fame Diaries, where legends live forever. God bless.